Is the 10,000 split between the card?
I can sit there every day and change the amounts per person.
So it's 10,000, and then you can determine.
It's 10,000 for the whole
for the
account, and if the chief needs to go pick up another fire truck or a rescue truck, he can get more money on his card, and then I can reduce it on the other cards. So if this board says they want the DPW to go get a new mower, and they want him to use the credit card, then I change the limit that day to his. It just has $10,000 that can go any direction we need it to go.
Okay.
And we have to do that because we couldn't send a check with them.
Correct.
Okay, any other questions? Minor answered, Chief, any questions?
No,
All right, moving on. So, in discussions, again, we've had a lot of legal things come up over the last few months, to say the least. And the lawyers keep referencing an employee handbook because we don't have one. So, I did a quick, again, and I'm completely honest, this is not something I want to approve, right?
You guys are elected.
But we have the DPW employees and different employees. So it's outside of the elected officials, yeah. So, and we also have to put an ESTA policy in place, and that's a requirement anyways, right? So we have to do that probably by the January meeting, we need to have that. So what I've provided are two, again, they're rough examples of an employee handbook and the employee sick time accrual policy. By no means am I wanting to approve this. Just take a look. And a lot of this is from ChatGPT, just going out and searching and looking, right, to see what we can create. So my ask is that you take a look at it over the next month, see what we can add to it. Maybe we could select a contact to reach out to other municipalities, Homer Township, Jerome, right, to get a copy of their employee handbook to see if there's something we might be able to leverage, right? Unless we want to go through our township attorney, which is going to be quite costly. They obviously asked and suggested that they could write this for us, but I think that we might have the...
I like the idea of maybe consulting Homer because we know that they have employees.
And they do have employees, yes. And so I think Jerome does too.
Coleman might be a good source.
Coleman might be a very good source.
Should
Yeah.
we actually determine a definition for employees, because we have elected officials and we have appointed officials?
Yeah, that can be part of the employee handbook, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
So is there anyone that would like to take the lead on either the employee handbook or the, the employee sick time accrual policy?
I can make some calls on the sick time one. I will see what I can.
Okay, then I will work on the handbook.
I'll also,
Yes, put that in the minutes.
I'll also get what we've got in the code for.
Okay, perfect.
The handbook is.
Thanks, Mark. All right, next on the agenda is the volunteer policy. Again, something that the township board had approved back in September. I do have a binder here with copies of those that have signed the volunteer waiver and release form. So per the township attorney, because I had asked, what do we do if we have volunteers that do not wish to sign this? And the attorney's response was, they need to leave the premise. And if they do not, then they need to be no trespassed. This is the best interest of the township to have these signs formed. There's not an option.
So remove them from a public area.
Correct. If they are not doing business there, so if it's the refuse center, if they're not doing business there, basically their response was, as a resident, you can take your trash there, you can visit, but then you need to leave. So, and this is outside of our hands. This is
I don't
the
think
nature of the
you
world.
can trespass somebody from a public area.
The attorney said you can,
You can,
and that's their recommendation.
yeah,
You know they're gonna tell you that because
Right.
you pay them to defend.
Well, they're not involved in that piece, but yeah.
Can you
lots of
clarify
public,
whose
lots of public
recommendation
places,
this is?
they're not open to the
I'm
public.
sorry?
Say
Can you
that again?
clarify who's recommended, oh, I'm sorry.
The township attorney.
Lots of places, I work for Saginaw County, just
I know.
because it's a public building does not grant you automatic access
Just
to that
being
facility.
Well, if you're not causing an issue, you can't be trespassed from it though.
You can if you're not there doing lawful
If you're not
business.
there doing
You can't, for example, stand inside the township, county building in Saginaw, hand out flyers. There's a reason why you see them outdoors.
Okay, that's
No,
different than
no,
what
I
they're.
agree.
But that's,
This is to protect the township,
Yeah,
this is a
right.
recommendation.
So it's liability?
It is our.
Liability issue?
It's a liability issue to,
yeah.
And it
For
was
the
approved
township.
by. Is that why you, is that, I'm just gonna ask it,
yes, go ahead.
okay, so you're saying any Lee Township resident
Or outside Lee Township.
or outside Lee Township is not allowed to enter a township-owned facility such as this building, or perhaps the dump, or the fire station, unless they have business to perform? Is that correct, or am I incorrect?
No.
If you're lawful business.
Yeah, it has to do with volunteering and potential
Who's
liability.
a volunteer?
There's several volunteers at the repurpose center.
And
at
where's
the
this,
dump.
do you have a list of all the volunteers in this?
No,
Or in this, okay, so I'm a volunteer.
the ones that are working there,
If
Volunteers.
you're
Oh, the
trespassing,
ones that
you
are
should be
volunteering their
cuffed and
time to,
stuff.
or
correct.
to be here, maybe, I don't know what other,
Shredding or stuffing envelopes or
Okay.
whatever the case may be, yeah.
okay.
So is the purpose of that then to have their name recorded because they're acting on behalf of the township in some way in their volunteer position? So if they were to misrepresent the township as they were carrying out, no, I'm asking liability wise, so if I were to come and volunteer and I was carrying out the business of the township, I'm representing the township
Sure.
in that moment. If I'm unwilling to sign my name, I'm not willing to give you my information, in a sense, that's kind of representation of, it seems a bit shady, because I am representing the township. I'm trying to understand the why, and I'm not trying to
The
think of.
why is from an insurance perspective, from a
Yeah.
liability perspective, and from a legal perspective.
Right,
And if you were to go to the Humane Society
yeah,
and volunteer, you'd sign a very similar form
right,
of any sort, right?
It's basically, if you get hurt, you can't sue. It's
Yeah.
a liability
To protect the
the
township,
township from getting sued. if
to protect
somebody-
your money.
So if one of the township employees does something they shouldn't do, the whole township's responsible?
That's what workers' council's for.
There's workers' comp, they're on part of our insurance, yeah. And
I just.
volunteers are not part of our insurance. They're in liable problem.
Yeah.
So they would sign a waiver.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's all it is. It's a waiver, Carol, absolutely.
that's all it is.